Are you ready for another letter? Today we're going to look at the letter mem, and it has two forms, a regular form and its sophite or final form. Grab your pencil and your notebook and let's continue learning Hebrew. Shalom, welcome to Scribe School. I'm Rob Van Hoff with Rob on the Rock, and we're going to look at the letter mem today. And remember, with the letter kaf, we had a regular form, and then we had what we call a sophite or final form. Same thing holds true for this letter mem. And so what we're going to do is we're going to learn the regular form first. And basically, I just do this. It's a little more complicated. It starts with a little squiggle like that from the upper left down to the center. And then you can do like an arch and then over. You can even make it a little more round like that, but I like making mine more like this. So I start in the upper left, come down to the center point, and then I kind of do an arch over and down to the bottom, and then a straight line over to the left. So it's kind of bounce, 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 just like that. That's our mem. Let's do one more line here. Let's change the color up here. We'll go purple mem. There's other ways. Some people do a mem like this. They do kind of a triangle and then they add that little guy at the end. And if you like that style, you can do it, but I prefer what I'm showing you here. Let's get a new color. Let's go red. You can tell I'm not real warmed up. But you want to write it again and again, just like with all our letters. Let's do one more row here. Let's go whatever that color is, dark blue. Kind of a midnight blue, I guess. So again, for those of us who grew up writing English, you know, we're used to starting on the left and pulling everything to the right. Well, here we have to do the opposite. Now, the mem sophite, the final form, I start like we do a bet, like that, and then down and up. You could almost say it's like started like a chet, and then you put a bottom on it. Remove a couple lines so I can continue to practice our mem sophite here. So kind of like a chet, and then just put a floor on it. Some of mine are kind of sloppy. You don't want that corner that I have there. That's a ant. We don't want that. And then what we'll do is we'll shift gears and we'll look at our Great Isaiah Scroll as well as the Washington Pentateuch from the 10th century, and we'll appreciate how these scribes created the mem and the mem sophite, and we can try to copy their approach. So here, let's go to our Great Dead Sea Scroll image we look at here of the Great Isaiah Scroll. It says, Shim'u Shemayim. Here, listen up, give your attention. Shemayim. So now the shin we haven't learned, but now you know that's a shin. And then we have mem, yod, mem. And that's the word for heaven. You might see how that mem sophite sticks out quite a bit. Well, look up here right above it. This is from the first line, Virushalayim, and Jerusalem, and you see that mem sophite. So just as the Lamed has that neck that rises way above the line. The mem, the final mem, that is, comes way below. And you see it here in this word shamayim. So if I were to try to replicate that, what I would do is, let's see if I get a, oops, make that a little closer over here. So the shin, we'll learn, is going to be that. But the mem that he's making, probably, it might have two strokes, like this, and then something like that. That's my guess, is that he makes this stroke first, and then some kind of second move. And then we have the yod. And then we have the mem sofit, which seems to me is two strokes, one like that and then one like that. So I'll do those again. It seems to me that he writes his shin like this, his mem like this. That's a little too big. Oops. Like that. Yod, and then for his mem sofit, all the way down. And he crosses it sometimes like this up here. You'll see a little bit of a crossover. I might have exaggerated that a little much, but let's try it one more time. So you see this is the word shamayim. There's our shin. Our first mem, something like this. Yod. And then the final mem goes way down like that. So we know, this is one of the cool things we learn about the Great Isaiah Scroll is that, and remember, this is dated to approximately 125 BC, or BCE, as they say now, before the Christian era. 125 BCE. And what does that mean? That means that the final form letters were already being used by some scribes, at least. So we've seen in the Great Isaiah Scroll, so this is the late 2nd century BC, we're already seeing a kaf sofit differentiated from a kaf. So remember, we see kaf like this, and the kaf sofit kind of goes down a little more. Oops. Here we're seeing the mem, and then the mem sofit going down more like this. So we're seeing these final forms. It's not all over the place. We slowly see them integrated through what we call the Herodian period into the 1st century. We start to see a uniformity of scribes, scribal products that are reproducing the final forms that we all know and learn today. Okay, we're going to look at one more image from Parashat Noach. This is from the Washington Pentateuch. Ele toldot Noach, Noach ish tzadik, tamim haya. So this is that word tamim. See that? Tamim. Tav we haven't learned, but mem, yod, mem. Tamim and shamayim look a lot alike. It's just we switched that first letter to a tav. But notice his mem, very beautiful mem, a yod, and then his mem. It looks to me that the strokes are the same that we see with the scribe of the Great Isaiah Scroll. But they're a little more disciplined. Of course, he's got more refinement when it comes to the pen. But it looks to me that he also does some sort of initial move, like so, and then comes back like that. That's my estimation of how he's writing this. Something like that. Now, of course, I'm just saying, just go like this and you'll be fine, like a little guy down and over. To me, I'm thinking in terms of efficiency and speed, even though it's a little sloppy at times. His mem sofit, he might do this. Oops. He might start and go like this, and then put that down. I don't know exactly. Something like that. But what I'm recommending is you just make like a chet and you put a base on it. And that's going to differentiate the mem. So we have this word mem, Yod, Mem. Now see, that time I actually drew up from the bottom. I went down, over, and up. So I'm not even always consistent on how I'm going to do that. And so you do it, you can try it both ways and see how you like it. I think if I'm writing really quickly, I'm probably just like it would be the same if you watched me write really quickly in English. Sometimes I'll use cursive letters, sometimes I'll use block letters. So I'm not the model here. But what I do want to model for you is the importance of just practicing, just to get these letters down. So let's go through. So we've got our Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Oops, I need to move that over, don't I? Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod. Then we had our Kaf, Kaf Sofit. Then we had our Lamed. And now we have our Mem and Mem Sofit. Let's change colors. We'll do one more. We'll go back to our, we'll do green. Move that up here. Here's our Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem. You can do it that way. And then if you want, for those that have final forms, you can write them below like that. So here we've got Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem. And then we have our Kaf Sofit and our Mem Sofit. So practicing these over and over and over and over again is so important. You want to get the names down, recognizing them visually, but also being able to reproduce them with your body, your motor skills. Use your muscles. That's why it's good to, engage different colors just for the visual, but also giant letters, right? Here's our Aleph. I'm gonna make that even bigger here. Let's see here. Maybe that one. Let's see. Aleph. There we go. Bet. Gimel. Dalet. Hey. Vav. Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, and Kaf Sofit, Lamed, and then Mem. And can I fit a Mem Sofit down here? Mem Sofit. Let's do those one more time here. There's the Mem and the Mem Sofit. Mem, Mem Sofit. Mem, Mem Sofit. Mem, and Mem Sofit. There you go. So we'll look one more time at this beautiful word tamim. That means to be blameless or upright. Tamim means blameless. Ultimately, before the Lord, it's what the Lord says to Abraham: walk before me and be tamim. All right. Hope you're enjoying this. Continue to practice your Hebrew letters because we've got to build with those. But we can't build with them until they're solid, until they're strong. And they get strong by doing what we've said before, by digging those ditches in your brain. Nobody can do it for you. You got to do it. But it will pay off and you'll be glad you did it. I've never talked to anybody who said they weren't glad that they learned Hebrew. So if you meet someone like that, you let me know. Until next time, shalom.